Okay, we left off Mem Gimel. We still have a Tosfos to do before. Very interesting over here. The Gemara asked the question according to Beis Shammai. Beis Shammai is of the opinion regarding Shlichus Yad that if you have a shomer and the shomer only intends to use the object that he's not permitted to use, that he's a custodian for, and subsequently something should happen to that item, he already has full liability if something should happen to that item as a thief. A thief, a person, a ganov or a gazlan is chayv bonsin, has full liability, but he has to do an act of stealing. So what's the act of stealing? He has to actually do a ma'aser kinyan. He has to take the object to have the liability. A shomer, according to Beis Shammai, if he's a custodian, even if he thinks, or verbalizes, that he's going to take the object, the Torah says, because of your level of responsibility to the owner, if you even consider that, you already have full liability. No, nothing happens. No, something happened. Lightning struck it. Of course, something happened. Lightning struck it. After you said, I will use that object, all of a sudden the barrel bursts. Barrel of the wine bursts. He has full liability for the barrel. No. What about a thief? Thief steals something. He's chai bonsin. Something has to happen to the object that he can't return it. Of course something always has to happen. But initially you have to have full liability before something happens. What gives you full liability? A person is shamachinam. An unpaid custodian, he has very limited liability. Right? Only if he's grossly negligent. He leaves the door open. He doesn't lock the door, then he's chayiv. If something should happen, that's when he has liability. Now he makes a statement, I will use that object. Subsequently, he has 20 locks on the door. All of a sudden, the house caves in, collapses, and the object is destroyed. He's fully liable, according to Beis Shammai. Beis Hillel says, no, until you do an action to take the object, you have no liability whatsoever. Right? That's the machlokes Beis Shammai Beis Hillel. It's based on a posuk. Al kol dvar pesha. He made a statement. He verbalized it. Okay? So the Gemara says, according to, we have Me'ila. From Me'ila we see Yesh L'Dvar Aveira. Correct? You commission a person to take money and purchase something on your behalf. Correct? And he carries out the agency. And it was all, he's not aware that the object, that the money was, Hegdish, was consecrated money. So we say the Meshalech, the sender, has liability for the action of the Shliach. So Mar says, so what do we learn from Ilo, Yesh L'Dvar Aveira? So Mar says, because we have another case, the case of Shlichus Yad. According to Beis Hillel, what do we learn from Al Kol Dvar Pesha? That not only if you take the object to use, are you fully liable, but even if you send an agent, a Shliach, to take the object on your behalf, you're also fully liable. So we have two, according to Beis Hillel, we have two cases of Yesh L'Dvar Aveira. So based on the principle of Shnei Ksum Bon Ke'echon Ein Melamdin, so if that's the case, these are the exceptions, correct? So Mar says, but according to Beis Shammai, that he uses the words Al Kol Dvar Pesha, that tell me that you're even liable for a verbal statement, even if you didn't do the action. So we only have one case. We only have Mila. So according to Beis Shammai, what do we learn from Mila? Yesh L'Dvar Aveira. Right? That was the Mar's question. Mar says, of course, we have another case. The case is what? Dal Veheg. Right? The Torah says, Tvichol Mechiro, that if a thief steals a sheep or a ox, and he slaughters or he sells it, he's liable for penalty. Dal 4 and 5 times the value. Correct?
Isn't that the same case of Shlichus? Right, where he's telling a Shliach who doesn't understand what's happening.
What, Dal Veheg? No. What
He's talking about Dal Veheg in
general. The thief himself slaughters the animal. What about if he sells the animal? Right? So it says he's chayv dal vei. So that's what we were at. So Mar says, Neilif minei. So Mar says, Mishum davi milu tvicho mechir shnei ksum bo keachod. Ho shnei ksum bo keachod ein melamnin. So Mar says, Milo hadamoran. So Milo we've already stated. That we have chet by truma, we have exer shava. As by truma we say shlichus, by milu we say shlichus. Tfichu mechira mahi. What is the case of tfichu mechira? How do we see from there? We say yesh shlich dvar aveiro. Omakro utvocho o mechoro. Now this is very important. Ma mechira al yidei acher, av tficha al yidei acher. Just as mechira, you have to have a third party involved. You can't sell it unless there's someone else involved. Similarly, tficha, even if it's done through a third party. Meaning the thief himself didn't do the slaughter, he commissioned a person to represent to slaughter the animal on his behalf. Okay? No, I understand, but that just mechira, there's another party involved. Similarly, tficha, even if another party's involved.
He hired somebody to...
No, he doesn't have to hire. He has somebody to slaughter the animal on his behalf. He made a shliach to slaughter it. Even though the shliach is doing, Torah says he's liable for dal veg. Just as mechir when you have another party involved.
Shliach is not chayav.
He is chayav. Yesh shliach dvar aveira. Okay, yesh shliach dvar aveira. So let's take a look in Rashi.
Isn't that the same case where he doesn't, or both cases the shliach doesn't know what's really happening?
No, it has nothing to do with it. That's only by Me'ilo, because Me'ilo is shogeg. We'll do Tosis. Let's leave Me'ilo alone right now. Now the top Rashi. Ma b'chira ein v'skayim es al yedei acher. Mechira you cannot have take place unless you have a third party involved. The thief is selling to a third party. Hagan of mocher v'lokech lokech. Hear what Rashi says. The thief sells and the purchaser purchases. So that's al yedei acher. Similarly, mechira is tficha is al yedei acher. So from here I see yesh li dvar avera. Although it's a context of avera, a sin is being perpetrated. Nevertheless, it's attributed to the thief, and the thief has liability of dal vei. Correct? Okay. So over here, there's a Rishon who argues with Rashi. There's a shita. It's called shita shlo nod lami. Shita shlo nod lami. It's a position. Nobody knows who authored it. So it's shita shlo nod lami. See, he asks on Rashi. This is the question he asks on Rashi. Factually, when the thief sells the object, who's actually doing the sale? The thief is doing the sale. Of course, you have someone else, but who's selling? The thief is selling. So that's not called al yedei acher. So how does the Gemara derive from mechira? That mechira you're able to do through an agent. Because just as a third party is involved, even the third party, but who's doing the selling? The thief is doing the selling. No, but even, again, after I explain it, you'll understand what the shit. So the shit shlod lami explains, ma mechira yedei acher, just as when you sell it, even if the thief told someone else to sell it on his behalf, through a shliach, genev is also tvoch is also yedei acher. I mean, the difficulty I have is why is mechira? Why for mechira we say mechira? He's doing it through a third party. Maybe tzvich is doing it through a third party. Unless you say it's more likely mechira is done through a third party than genev is done through a third party. And why is mechira through a third party? As difficult to Rashi is if the thief is doing the actual selling, so he's involved. That's not a shliach. Right? The purchaser is only the recipient. But who's actually doing the selling, the transfer? The transfer is the thief. So that's not called al yedei acher. That's the shita shalom. No, let me. It's difficult with Rashi. So therefore, what's mechira al yedei acher? That even if the thief should commission an agent to sell it on his behalf, and it's effective, so similarly, tficha is al yedei acher. I mean, why? Let's leave it at that. But let's talk about his question on Rashi. Now, I think this is a proof to Rashi l'shitoso. So the Stipler shows from Rashi that you see over here that when a person sells something, that the purchaser, the lokeach, is essential to the transfer. He's essential to the transfer, right? Because Rashi says, just as emiska el di acher, haganav mocher v'alokech lokeach. The thief sells and the purchaser buys. Mm-hmm. So therefore what? So he says, but who's doing the selling? The purchaser is what? The seller, the thief, is the transfer. So I think it's like this. Goes back to the discussion of das acheres makne. Right? We said, according to Tosus, according to the majority of Rishonim, if you give that lulav or a gift to a minor, right, and the minor does the act of acquisition, who's doing the transfer totally? Right? An adult and a minor. You give the lulav to a minor. According to Tosus, according to most Rishonim, the minor cannot transfer back to the one who gifted it to him. Why? Because he acquired, and he can't transfer back to the one who transferred it to him. Why not? Because to transfer, you need das. So if you need das, you need intent, halachic intent. So how did he acquire? He has no intent. To acquire, you don't need intent. You have to just do an action. Okay? That's what all the Rishonim say. Therefore, when you give the gift to the child, as long as the child takes it, now why does he acquire it? Of course, he has to take it. What causes the transfer? It's not the lokeach's das. It's not the purchaser's das. It's totally the intent of the seller or the gifter who's gifting it to the recipient. Right? That's all the Rishonim. Rashi disagrees. Rashi says no. As you have to have the intent of the transferor, you have to have the intent of the acquirer. Okay? So that's the case. That's exactly the machlokas here. According to Shidduch Lodo Lemi, he says, what are you talking about? The seller, he's the transferor. The thief is transferring it. The purchaser is not doing anything. All he's just taking it. His intent plays no role whatsoever. So if that's the case, what relevance does it have shliach? There's no other party involved. Of course, to take it, of course, he has to take it. But in terms of causing the transfer, he has no relevance to the transfer. But according to Rashi, the das acheres makne is not. He rejects the whole concept and that's why the minor cannot acquire. It's purely rabbinical, because the acquirer has to have intent. So when we speak ma mechir al yidei acher, no, there's a third party has to be involved. His intent is crucial for the transfer. So just as when you're selling, you have a third party, only because of the third party, that's why the transfer takes place. It's meaning the thief is not sufficient to cause the transfer. Identically, when you commission it through an agent, it's also considered effective.
That third party still has to take the
Yeah, but it's a physical action. It has nothing to do with the transfer.
that transfer.
No, it's like putting something in somebody's door. If I put something in your courtyard and I say it should be yours, right? Because it has to be contained in your domain. The hand is like the domain of the purchaser. Understand? But who's causing the transfer? That's only a technicality in acquiring. It's not the essence of acquiring. Right? The thief is causing everything. So that's why he says, that's his question on Rashi. According to Rashi, what's the al yidei acher? There's no acher. But according to Rashi, there is an acher. Because without the lokeach, he says, Haganov is mocher, or lokeach. He's doing the acquisition. Right? So it's very good. The Rashi is consistent, and the others are also consistent with their understanding. This is here. Very interesting. The first case, the Gemara we established, based on the principle of Divrei Rav, Divrei Atav, Divrei Mishomim, that we have a principle Ein Shlich Dvar Aveira. Okay, so what is the principle Ein Shlich Dvar Aveira? Divrei Rav, Divrei Atav. If the master directs you, gives a dictate, and the subject says differently, who do you listen to? To the master or to the subject? You listen to the master. Right? That's the rationale of Ein Shlich Dvar Aveira. So we discussed the case. What happens if the shliach is not aware that an Aveira is being done? He's not aware an Aveira is being done. The case in Bava Kama, in the Mishnah is, a Yisrael says to a Kohen, go to that flock, take my sheep, and that will be my pidyon abin. The sheep is worth 5 sloim, take it. Or take that for Petach Hamor. Take that sheep for Petach Hamor, and that will be the redemption of the donkey. So the Mishnah says that the Kohen is considered the agent of the person, and the person is liable. He's liable. So why is he liable? So if you say the rationale of Ein Shlich Dvar Aveira is Divrei Rav, Divrei Tal, Divrei Mishomim, if the master tells you something, gives you a directive, and the subject says differently, who do you listen to? You listen to the master. That's only, so therefore the sender could say, I never believed he followed my dictate. But what about if the agent is not aware that he's violating? He's not aware that the master had said differently. So of course he will carry through. As a result of that, Tosas' position is that in the context where the shliach is a shogeg, we say yesh shliach dvar aveira. That's Tosas' shita, because the principle of yesh shliach dvar aveira is based on the rationale of Divrei Rab, Divrei Talmud, Divrei Mishomim. Okay, that's Tosas' shita. So let's see Tosas. So if that is the case, we have a problem. The halach of milah is only in the context of shogeg. If a person knows something's hegdish and he benefits from it, he has no liability. I mean, he did an aveira, he sinned. But in terms of principle of fifth and a korban, he has no liability, right? That's only b'shogeg. So what is the case of yeshlich v'aravera regarding milah? You tell a person, take that bag of money, and mistakenly, he takes the bag which is what? Which is consecrated, rather than the ordinary money. Let's say they're both shogeg. Even if the sender would know, well, the sender can. The sender does know. The sender does know, and the agent doesn't know. Neither know. Right. So what's the halacha? So the Mishnah says in Milo, the sender is liable. It's as if he actually expended the money. So he has to pay principal, a fifth, and a korban. So we see Yishtal Varaveira. So Tosas has a difficulty. But if you're going to tell me that the rationale of Yishtal Varaveira is Divrei Av Divrei Talmud Mishomim, because that a person is not going to violate the wish of the master when the subjects are differently, but here neither know. So if neither know, so if that's the case, of course the action of the agent is attributed to the sender.
In that case, he would normally be potter if he did himself that.
He would be chayav.
Even if the shogeg.
Only shogeg. You're only liable by shogeg. Mila is only shogeg. If you're aware and you violate, there's no liability. Of course, as I said, principle and the fifth, this is all atonement. You're only deserving atonement when it's b'shogeg. You're not worthy of kapora unless it's shogeg. So, but we're saying if everything's only within the context of shogeg, it has nothing to do with ein shlich devar aveira. The Gemara says we have a pasuk because we have a gzera chet from truma. Just as you could commission a shliach regarding to tithe on your behalf, the milah, if you send someone in your place to follow your directive, his actions attributed to you. Of course, it's attributed to you. It's a regular case of shlichus. The only reason why it would not be is because it's based on Prince Divrei Rab Divrei Tav Mishomim. But over here, the shlich is not aware he's doing anything wrong. No, if he would, no, then it's not shogeg. It's not shogeg then. No, but we're saying now fact. Tosas' position is like the case over there. A person says they're going to take the sheep out of the flock and let that be the pidyon aben or the pidyon petachamor. The one who gave the directive to the Kohen is the thief. Well, if he would have known, he wouldn't have. Doesn't make a difference if he would have. But factually, in the context that he took it, he wasn't aware. And therefore, his action is attributed to the sender. He's the shliach of the Yisrael who told the Kohen to take the sheep. And he has full liability. So that's Tosaf's question. Why do we need Exeris HaKosov? To tell me that the person who sends the agent is liable if the only basis for Ein Shlich Dvar Aveiro is the rationale, Divrei Av Divrei Tav Mishomim. This principle cannot be applied in the context of shogeg, because the shlich is not aware he's doing anything wrong. That's Tosaf's question. Let's read inside. Amay moal neme shlich dvar aveira tema hal kochach meir b'shogeg. We must say Milah is speaking in the context of shogeg, right? The I b'mezid leka Milah. They ain't Milah b'mezid. If it's a context of deliberate where he's aware, the law Milah has no relevance. Im kein yesh dvar aveira. Lo shaykh lemim with divrei rav divrei atam divrei mishomim. Kevon shu shogeg. So if that is the case, the rationale of do you listen to the master or do you listen to the subject has no relevance because the subject doesn't realize, the agent doesn't realize he's doing anything wrong. He thinks it's totally permitted. Dochem nami mashma perak merubin. I quotes the Mishnah which I just mentioned. The commentaries shegonav tlemin ha'eder. Person steals a sheep from a flock. V'omar labal chovo. The two cases. Person has a creditor. He says to the creditor, I owe you money. Go take the sheep out of the flock and he believes the flock belongs to his debtor, and he takes it. Or he says to a Kohen, take the sheep on my behalf. Take the sheep, that'll be the 5 sloim. So Verelo betleshel chaveru, umasik. The Mishnah concludes the miyacho tzio hakohen mishus bailim nischayv aganav mishichas hakohen. The Mishnah says the moment the Kohen takes it out of the flock, the sender has full liability. It's like he stole it. So we see in the context of shogeg, what do I say? Yeshli dvar avera. So if that, and over there we have no psukim. So we see clearly what's the rationale. Divrei Rav, Divrei Talmud, Divrei Mishomim. So where he's not aware that he's doing anything contrary to the will of the master, we apply the principle of shlichus. So if that's the case, what's the Gemara asking regard to Milo? We should say shlich dvar avera of Milo is only in effect in a context of shogeg. So in shogeg we see unilaterally all over what we say the principle of what? Yeshlich dvar avera, because the principle of the rationale of Divrei Av, Divrei Tarv, and Divrei Shomim has no relevance, cannot be applied in that situation. That's because he cannot be a shliach. It has nothing with intent. He doesn't qualify as an agent in any context. That's the reason why he's not liable. It's causality. Doesn't make it, but that's causality. It's not enough. That's grama. It said chai b'dei shamayim. Between you and God, you have a debt to pay. But you cannot be convicted in court. You're not accountable in court because it's not you. That's called causality. By sending a person who's incompetent because he doesn't qualify as a shliach, not because he's doing the wrong thing. In any context, a minor is not an agent. He's not an agent. He's not an agent. The minor is not an agent.
The one who's sending, the one who is commissioned knows that the act is wrong.
Correct.
And the other party
Is unaware.
a competent person that is unaware.
Right. That's the Mishnah Bava Kama.
Takes effect.
Correct. That's the Mishnah Bava Kama. That's the Mishnah Bava Kama.
But with a minor or incompetent person.
It's because he cannot be an agent, not because he's doing the right thing or the wrong thing. He's not qualified to be an agent. So that's our question about Milo. His agent is qualified to be an agent. And the context of liability is only in the context of shogeg. So if that's the case, what's the Gemara's question in Shlich Dvar Aveira? It has no relevance to the whole discussion. Because the base in Shlich Dvar Aveira is the rationale of Divrei Rav, Divrei Talmud, Divrei Shomim. So what's the Gemara bothered with? We should say in Shlich Dvar Aveira. Phenomenal question. Vihikshari Hosam. This is unusual. Tosas the Re asks on the Mishnah Bava Kama. Asks on the Mishnah Bava Kama. You just bring it up. Amay Chayv Aganov Neimei Shlich Levar Aveiro. The Mishnah in Bava Kama that it says when the Kohen takes the sheep for Pidyon Aben on behalf of the father to redeem his son, why should the father be liable? We have Prince Link Shlich Levar Aveiro. That's the Re's question. The Re asks that in Bava Kama. The Re answers, Kevon Chain HaKohen Yodea Shu Bo Bing Nevo. Since the Kohen is not aware that it's actually the sheep is being stolen, right? Because he believes it's the flock of the father. Lo Shachlemim Divri Mishomim. So the rationale why Shlichus should not be in effect has no application, no relevance to that context. Because he's not aware that he's doing the wrong thing. So if that's the case, we have a difficulty with our Gemara. If Me'ila is only within the context of Shogeg, so what's the Gemara asking? When he sends the agent to purchase on his behalf, and mistakenly he takes money of Hegdish, why is the sender liable? We should say Shlich Dvar Aveira. The difficulty is, but why is this case any less of the case than the Mishnah in Bava Kama, where the person directs the Kohen to take the sheep from the flock, and over there we say that the sender is liable, because the Kohen is not aware the sheep he's taking is not the sheep of the one who sent him. Of course, the sender over there knows he's stealing. So then definitely, it would be definitely. Yeshlir Dvar Aveira. Definitely Yeshlir Dvar Aveira. In our case, definitely Yeshlir Dvar Aveira.
We both have a shogeg. It is, we do say Shlich Dvar Aveira, right?
Definitely. Over there, the sender is amazed, and the
No, even if they're both shogeg.
no, but it's with a koshkein. It's with a koshkein. That's what I'm showing you. Over there, the one who's sending the coin is aware it's being stolen. But we say since the agent is unaware, we say yesh l'dvar avera. Because you cannot apply the principle divrei Talmud divrei mishomim. So let's say the sender and the agent, neither are aware that anything wrong is being done. So definitely you should say yesh liach.
He is a shliach.
Definitely, it's with a koshkein.
As long as the shliach doesn't know it.
As long, right? Exactly. That's Tosa's question. What happens? Initially he sends him, and initially he was unaware. And when the shliach arrives, when he commissions him to take the money, the sender wasn't aware the money was consecrated, and the shliach was unaware. Now, when the shliach is about to purchase the item, he becomes aware that it's hegdish. So in terms of the mind of the sender, he's unaware that the agent became aware. That means the agent's going to carry out his agency, right? And the sender is still unaware. He's unaware because if he'd be aware, we'll see in a moment, he cannot be moil, right? Because it has to be in a context of inadvertency. It has to be inadvertent. Afil niskar shliach kama de moil balabayis. We're speaking about the shliach when he purchased it. He was aware it was hegdish. So since he represents the sender, correct? Since he represents the sender, because the sender is shogeg, and when he sent him, he was unaware. The shliach was unaware. Both of them were unaware. Now, when he purchases it, he's aware. So how could the sender now be liable for Mila? Why not? Because in terms of the action that's going to be attributed to the sender is what? Inadvertent action. Because if the action is considered his, the awareness of the shliach is irrelevant. Correct? It's irrelevant. Correct.
So he has to do the right thing.
He's doing the wrong thing.
Right, so then it's all on his shoulders.
It's not on his shoulders. Because now we're talking about who's going to be moel. Who's going to be moel? Factually, he's carrying out the shlichus of the what? Of the sender. We say, normally the sender says, if I'm aware that he's doing the wrong thing, my understanding, he will not carry out my dictate, my directive. He believes that he's unaware. Because the sender's unaware. Now, before the purchaser, the agent goes to purchase, he becomes aware. So he's amazed. Wait. Good. That's why I need Exer Sakosuf. That's why it's a posuk. If not for the posuk, I would say he would not be. Because since he's aware, his action is not attributed to the sender. But over here, since I have a posuk, the posuk tells me despite that, he's liable, so I say yesh l'dvar avera. That's exactly that's why I need a posuk. Without the posuk, let's say they're both unaware. That was the original question. Why is it any different than the person sending the kohen to take the sheep on his behalf where the kohen's unaware? He's doing the wrong thing. So we're speaking about over here, it's niskar shlich. The shlich became aware he was doing the wrong thing. So the agent is aware. So that means he knows he's doing a dvar avera. So how do you attribute his action to the sender? We're speaking about the sender still unaware, is unaware. Therefore, normally we say shlich dvar avera. But since I have a posuk, I say yesh shlich dvar avera. What's that? V'ashto porich amaymol name shlich dvar avera divrei Rav divrei Talmud divrei mishomim. V'avgav di niskar shliach. Even though the shliach is aware he's doing the wrong thing, balabais moal balabayis kimuch b'milo, as it's clear from the Mishnah in Milo, Tony niska balabais. Let's say the balabais sends the agent, and the balabais, after he sends him, becomes aware. He becomes aware that the money that he had taken was consecrated money. So when he originally commissioned him, he's aware the shliach. He has no reason why the shliach is not going to follow his dictate, right? So the nisker balabais lo nisker shliach, and the shliach is still in a state of inadvertency. Hashliach moal. Now, when he spends that money, the action cannot be attributed to the sender because the sender is aware. Because in the context of mezid, you can't be moel. And so they're the shliach. So now, the shliach and the sender are disconnected. Correct? Wait a second. Wait. Let's explain it again. You can only have shlichus when the context of shogeg. So the action of the shlich can only be attributed to the sender if the sender is a shogeg. So the shogeg, the sender is aware now. That means the action of the agent and the sender are disconnected now. Right? Because the agent is doing it b'shogeg, inadvertent. So his action of mi'ilo cannot be attributed to the sender. Because the sender is aware that what? That the money is hegdish. So that action cannot be classified regarding him as an act of mi'ilo, which carries liability. After, it doesn't make a difference. Doesn't make a difference. Doesn't make a difference. No, because again, you're acting as my agent. So my mind, now I'm aware that it's deliberate, even though I can't recall you. Even the sender cannot recall the agent, right? No, but the difference is it's not like shooting an arrow. Because the action, until the action is done, it cannot be attributed to the action that's being attributed to the sender, right? What action is being attributed to the sender? An action of inadvertency, but factually can't, because the mindset of the sender is awareness. It's irrelevant when you commission him. When you commission that he was a shogeg, because otherwise we'd immediately say divrei Rav, divrei Talmud, divrei Mishomim. Right? That's understood. The answer, when he sent him originally, he was inadvertent. He was unaware. Now he becomes aware that the agent, or the money the agent has, is hegdish money. He's aware of it. He should have a liability as if he was moel. But how could he be moel if he's aware when his action is taking place, he's aware the money is hegdish? No, you don't go when the instruction is given, when the act is done. It's not like shooting an arrow. When you shoot an arrow, the power lies. What happens if a person commissions an agent and he dies before the agent executes the agency? It's over. The agent has no relevance to the sender. When you shoot an arrow, a person shoots an arrow, and after he shoots the arrow and he dies, and the person dies, even though the person's dead, he's liable for that murder. Because the power behind that arrow is his power. It's still his power. He will be held liable. Although he died before the arrow hit its mark, he's liable. Because his power is what killed that person. But I just explained it to you. I explained to you, but what about a shliach? Person commissions an agent, and then before the agency actually takes place, the sender dies. He's no longer his agent. There's a disconnect. They're disconnected. Because you can only represent the person who's alive. You can't represent the person who died.
So what happens in that case?
Nothing. It's meaningless. It's meaningless. Person sends a get to divorce his wife.
Nothing has happened.
Nothing's happened. No, it has nothing to change his mind. Man dies. No, so that's where? By get? So there's a whole discussion over there. Chazal don't allow him to change his mind, because otherwise it creates very serious problems. They have to uproot the marriage, the whole thing. He could change his mind. On the Torah level, he could change his mind. He goes before witnesses, I cancel the agency. But then the woman has a problem, because when she receives it, she's relying, she believes that this is her husband. Doesn't count. Doesn't count. Because the agency is canceled over there.
So the man commissions an agent to purchase a piece of property for him. And en route, the sender files.
It's nothing.
But the agent goes through with the act.
It has no
Money
value.
changes
No
hands.
value. No value. No value.
There's no transaction.
No transaction. No transaction.
If he changes his mind, there's no transaction.
Right?
So that goes through even
On a Torah level, maybe rabbinically, because it creates trans complications. Okay, 25 after. Okay, we'll stop here.